I'm going to ask our missionaries that went to El Salvador, Nancy and Peter and Ellen, just to come on up for just a couple minutes. We put together a couple pictures to show you, and they're just going to give you a little teaser on next week. They're just going to share a little bit more. I'm going to show you a couple pictures of them to prove that they were there in El Salvador, and this is really exciting. This is the, for those of you who have been there, you're like, I don't know what this is. This is the gate, which I'm like, I had to ask Nancy. I'm like, what's that? She's like, that's the gate. I'm like, the gate used to be like a little wire to keep the bad guys out, but now there's a real gate. So this is exciting. So this is the construction work that they did, right?
Yeah.
How hard was that?
It was easy. It was easy for me. I was painting on the other side.
Oh, okay.
If you look at this picture, you can kind of see the only person in the shade there next to the tractor on the left is me. I'm the only person in the shade, so that's kind of like that kind of exemplifies my work.
Oh yeah.
Work that I did. 'Cause I was out there.
Did you guys find him right there?
Yeah.
In that little dark spot right there's Peter.
I was out of the schools most of the time.
Yeah.
So I was only working maybe like an hour the whole time I was there.
So this is the most of the American team and the El Salvador missionaries together in this picture, right?
Right.
And
They had
that's
to pour that concrete in the front. We're really lucky. I did go one day and showed Rashad and Derek, which you'll find out who they are later, how to operate the pickaxe. Because they didn't have the right swing to it. So I showed them, and then I decided that was way too much work. It's 100 degrees. Well, my arms started hurting. So
what was your top temperature when you were there? Down
I
it.
only saw it a couple times, and it was 100 one day.
Okay, so you had good weather. That's not bad.
But the wind was blowing. Don't feel bad that it was 100 degrees. Oh, I can't go, it's too hot. No, we prayed for wind and you have no idea.
Nice breeze.
Compare that to 13 below and
Yeah.
tell me we were suffering.
Yeah, the first year we were there, what was it? Actually 130 every day? It was real. We have pictures of the thermometer. Is that all? I always add 10 degrees to make it sound better.
Yeah, so I noticed the wind one night, and I was like, I gotta buy a hammock and sleep outside. So there were 3 days where I slept outside.
That's nice. Uh-oh, my thing doesn't work. Can you advance that, Chris? And then here's a picture of a few of them. What are you partaking of in that picture?
Marcelo, he cut up some coconut. We found a coconut tree on our property, and he cut it up with his machete, and he told us to drink the coconut. Coconut milk is really very healthy for us.
It's cool because they're not brown. They're still green. They come right off the tree.
And that's when you drink from it. It's
And
not the brown.
Yeah, so I picked up a brown one and I started chopping it up, and then he comes up to me and he looks at me and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm drinking coconut water." And he said, "Those aren't good." I said, "Well, from the movies, all the movies say that the brown ones are Gilligan's Island." You're
Yeah, exactly.
My thought,
That's awesome.
my big thought on the coconuts, and there weren't a lot of coconuts laying around, right? I mean, the brown ones, maybe the whole yard, maybe pick up 15 or 20. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, we had all these acorns on the ground. The whole ground is covered with acorns, right? Do you know how fortunate we are that they're only that big? If you got hit with one of those coconuts, I stopped going out for my little walk. I'm like, they're up there.
That's good.
The painting crew.
That's the painting crew. Okay.
That's the other project. Is behind us. You can see the white. You see the brown wall, and then you see the white. We painted, it was gray actually. We painted all the gray and yellow, so now the front of the building is brown and yellow, and it looks really good.
You can see that OSHA-safe scaffolding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bent and crooked ladders with it's crazy. Give me
Bungee cord
another
it down.
picture. So I got a couple pictures of Nancy, and give her a chance to throw out any thoughts she wants to share with you today. She did a lot of puppet work, right?
Yes, and the children had never seen a puppet. They'd never seen nothing crazy as me and George, let's face it. And the kids were just, I don't know how to tell you that. And I did the little ones, and they just were so open to whatever you told them. It was just it was an amazing time. And to see their smiles was just way too good to be true. There was a little set of twins. Hopefully when I do my pictures, I'll find all of the pictures and that I need to find.
Yeah, awesome. And this was a lock that Nancy had as her ambition to
That
fix.
was my work. It took me all day to fix the lock.
We could unlock the door to our dorm.
They finally got me some WD-40, but I mean, I worked on that for like about 3 hours, pulling it, and spraying it. And I got a wire brush. They were painting, and I went down and stole their wire brush and tried to wire brush the edge of the door, thinking that's what, because you had to pull the door to make it unlock. And so I thought, well, if I wire brush, I don't know why. All the doors are like steel. And they don't have like a doorknob, like something normal. So you have to pull the thing back and turn the key at the same time and get it to click.
Yeah, those are tricky doors.
Now you're not going in yet, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better.
So here's a picture of Ellen hanging out. Was that at a church or
This was at
where?
school.
It's at a school. Okay.
Well, there's a church also, I think.
First stage.
Was it first aid?
Is that your first thing?
Yeah,
So you did some first aid there?
yeah, first aid. Yeah.
Oh, first day. First day.
day.
Yeah. And what are you holding there, Ellen? What's that?
A cube, we kind of show this, tell the story of Jesus dying on the cross for us and washing away.
She's gonna get into it.
Why did I keep like into it? But it tells a story about Jesus Christ, the gospel.
It's called the Evangel Cube, and it's just a big like Rubik's Cube thing, and then you break it open, and it has one part of the story, then you break it up in another way, and it has another part. You do that like 6 times. I don't even know how it works, but
I know.
you
So-
can keep folding it. And it has
God,
like
that makes
6.
it open right.
It has like 6 different scenes, and at the end, you know, it's. And
So
The
the
kids
kids
like-
think you're doing a magic trick, and it's your sermon notes. Like you just know how to walk through the gospel story. So it's really
And
awesome.
then they come up after and they want to play with it, the cube.
Yeah.
Better the cube than my neck.
And there's another. I think there's another picture of it. Oh, yeah. There we go. So this is one of the. So, what was your average size school that you went into? Because you said you had almost 4,000 students through the week. Was it about this size? Is that about the average crowd?
Between 200 and 300 kids.
And then they would go to room to give a invitation to the kids, and they were running room to room, giving the gospel message to each individual classroom, and sharing the gospel
the
message
empty heart.
after they did this drama, which they'll tell you more about when we have some more time, and maybe we'll get our hands on part of the video of it, hopefully for next week. Now Peter told us that he was going on a missions trip, but I don't know. These pictures are a little incriminating. I think Peter was on vacation or something, and he went down there, you know. And what's the next one there? So here's Peter in a school. So he did some work while he was there, but then, you know, the devil got the best of Peter when he was down there. And look at this next picture. Peter, he got involved with the drug cartel when he was down there. And in that picture, he's got a gun to the head, and that was part of the drama. So Peter did not go astray when he was down there. He was suicide, and his character was that right? Suicide.
Yeah,
the character was
very
suicide.
end, if you see all those hearts at the bottom there, you have drugs and lust and violence and religion, and then the final one was suicide. Before all of the black hearts come out and wrap the guy in chains and, you know, really torture him, and then he's left there for Jesus to come and rescue. So suicide was kind of the last. You know.
Yeah.
It was really powerful.
The little
Yeah, it's
black
really powerful.
hearts on the bottom don't fit the heart. It's called the empty heart. And when each one does the performance, then he takes the heart and he drops it, and it falls through his empty heart. And so it's not fulfilled with any of those things. And then at the end, of course, it's fulfilled with Christ.
Fulfilled with Christ, yeah. What's the next slide? So this is a couple of Peter's pictures that he took. So
my favorite picture.
That's why is that your favorite picture?
Just look at it.
Look at the attitude of the kids as they. What song are you guys singing? Or are they raising their hands?
That was kind of the team. the people that were down there, the Word of Life people, they were kind of pumping them up at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Like, just big
Singing that
party and
little-
dance and
it's
crazy
a frog
hats.
game,
And,
like
Oh, okay.
frog song.
yeah, so
Oh,
everybody
that's Jerusalem.
everybody
Oh, okay.
participates.
I thought it was Jerusalem, Jericho. That's why I guessed that, but I wasn't sure.
The best part about it is that when we're going into these schools, these are schools. And it kind of gets to your heart after a while, because why couldn't we go up to Yo Smith and do the empty heart?
Yeah.
Right? But you can't, but in here, that we're welcoming
So
us.
yeah, so one of the reasons we were welcome is because we were Americans. They went in and did prep work and said, we want to share, something about, a message about Jesus in the school, and they were like, no, we don't want you to do that. They said, well, we have a group of Americans that is coming, and they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll welcome him in because of that. So we were kind of, an
And that
attraction.
comes down, maybe, if I got a minute to do it, and just tell that all of the, you'll see these pictures that are painted on the walls of the children, and they're all white and light-skinned. And yet look at the kids, And somewheres along the line, somebody did some kind of a research or something where they had pictures of white children and black children, and they'd ask the kids, who's smarter? And they'd point to the white child, and who's not? And, they'd point to the dark one. It's a very, very racist thing. All of these pictures, all of the children are dark-skinned, and all the pictures, and you'll see them, the pictures of these kids, the paintings on the wall, and they're all light-skinned. And, it can kind of get to you, because then you know that they're letting you into the school, they're letting you come and tell them about Christ, because you're fair-skinned, you're Americans, you're white, and you must be smarter than they are. And it can kind of break your heart, knowing that, but we took Pastor Joe and Darren,
Who are not white-skinned.
who are not, and they let them have it. It was really great. But that was, I'd say, like the biggest and the hardest thing. And
Yeah, so these are some of the staff down there at Word of Life. There's Kelly in the middle. To the left is Roy's wife. I'm not sure her name.
Linda.
And then to the right of Kelly is Cecilia. That's Marcelo's wife. They're kind of like the head. They live on the camp and they kind of run the place. And on the far right is an intern. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
So you want to talk about Jackie? You want to talk about Jackie there?
oh, the little girl here is Jackie. Jackie took all of our hearts of the whole group. Jackie is deaf. She cannot go to school because she doesn't have a hearing aid. But then we found out, I went and talked to the minister, and she has a hearing aid. It's an adult-size hearing aid, and she can't put it in her ears. And she just was so well, she won all of our hearts. She hugged us, she just loved on all of us. She can make noise, but she can't really talk, and it make you feel like, I don't know.
There's a couple, actually, Pastor Joe was like, seriously said this, he's like, I want to take her back.
Right, and we have Marcelo, head of the camp, that's where he goes to church, where this little girl goes. Because there's no sense of saying, okay, well, this is the child's name and address. We're not going to get her any help by doing that. We have to go through the church, through the minister. I talked to him, and he said that he'll try to find out what we can do to help her. I'm even looking for child-sized hearing aids, anything that we can find. And if he comes up with a price, our group is gonna we're just gonna hit it, man. We're gonna get that little girl hearing aids.
And then she'll be able to go to school.
You just have to know, when we went there, how she just ran out and just, I don't know, she just stole our hearts.
yeah.
There was maybe a little communication as far as verbal communication, but there was so much communication of just like this little girl, just her life and joy and appreciation that we were there, and just that kind of communication of just interacting with her, it's really special.
Yeah. And the kids, they just, they came and stared at you, huh? They just came and you could
yeah.
see the
Yep.
they
just
just
see it.
wanted. They were so glad you were there.
One of the biggest
and-
problems that they have down there are, and it came to me while I was doing George, and I felt like these kids have problems. There's a great, great problem of molestation and abuse on the children down there. Came to my heart, and then Chris Nickerson came to me, and it was put on his heart to pray for him. So, you know, we have to remember to pray for the safety of these children because they're just so vulnerable. They have nobody to go to. I mean, nobody's going to help them. They're just, you know, oh,
Yeah.
there it is. The hardest night we
That's the
had.
sunset.
That was
The sunset at the beach.
yeah. That was at the beach. We were just out there for 2 hours
Yeah,
in
and
that
oh,
in
and
the
those
in the
high
jacuzzi, water temperature, weather, and just the waves were like 8 or 9 feet, and we were just getting
Yeah, oh, it was
tossed around
wonderful.
and just.
This is about a half a mile up the beach from where they have the world surfing tournaments. So it's just, the sand is black.
From the volcano.
And again, it gets, you look and it's black sand, and you stand there and it's warm water, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going in. Look at that, the undertow must be horrible. And then I walked a little bit further, and pretty soon I fell, and the waves washed me back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going back out there. That was fun, you know. And it was just, if that didn't touch your heart, you know, the sunset was beautiful.
Yeah, there was a lot of touching and inspirational moments, and those were my favorites. But as far as like recreation and like relaxing, this was absolutely my favorite, just because it was like
It was fun.
there was nothing bad about it. You know, the water wasn't too cold. There was no wind. There was. You know,
At the church we performed at, one of the people at the church owns a booth where they sell stuff, and I don't know how they do it on the beach. People must pay to go. And so they told us that we were welcome, so we all went there, and they let us use the beach for free. Of course, it was after hours, but we managed. It was great.
So after getting up at 5 o'clock every day and working until 9 or 10 o'clock at night, they gave you a day off to go to the beach?
No, it was dark.
Just, you only got there in the evening. That was,
Yeah, that's
oh,
what
you went to the
Sunday.
coffee plantation during the day, right?
We had to drive
Yeah.
fast to get down to where we were going so we could get there before the sun
Ah.
went down. But just because the sun went down did not stop the swimming.
The swimming,
For some
yeah.
of us thought about barracudas and warm weather and after dark, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're just gonna trust the Lord, let's go again.
Yeah. So what type of person should go on a trip like this?
Everyone.
Yeah. Are you glad you went?
Yes.
Yeah. And
How
and
could you not?
yeah.
There he is with the heart filled, with his heart filled with Christ.
that's
Margaret was it?
no, that's Benjamin.
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 He
Well,
was,
I've already,
he was really good at that,
Yeah.
playing that part.
well, the good thing is, I've already changed the date on the jug out there. There was money in it, so we've started the 2018 money for the next trip because Helen's gonna go. And Anne Marie, you know, we just have to have a lot of people go.
Yeah.
It's just great, you just can't.
So Chris Nickerson from the guy that arranges the trip on our side called me up and he said, you need to stand before your congregation tomorrow and tell them that we're going in 2 years and that if they get a coffee can and throw $10 in it a week, the trip will be paid for. They won't even have to think about it in 2 years. And so for $10 a week for the next 2 years, if you throw that away, you don't even have to raise support. That'll fund your trip. And so the trip is generally about $1,100 or $1,200. And it's good to be able to bring extra money to be able to make sure that you can do everything you want to do down there as far as funding the outreach and funding the
But knowing,
construction and stuff
but
like
knowing
that.
that people have contributed to your trip, there's something special about it. That knowing that back home, I mean, we're out there doing crazy things, and knowing that who was behind us and who supported us, and that everybody was here and hopefully praying for us, and that just knowing that, you know, everybody had a part of it. It wasn't like just us.
Yeah.
The whole congregation had a part of it. So I suggest that, you know.
So start your
people to
coffee
sponsor
can.
you and
So start your coffee can and find out over the next year or two whether God's going to use that for you or help you send someone else. But start the coffee can, and put it down and write mission trip on it, and or even write El Salvador. Take a picture. We shared all these on our Facebook page.